Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here from Safi Financial Network. Today is January 2nd, 2025. Here is another daily analysis. The first trading session in 2025 just started. Uh, Pretty choppy. So let's get into it. S&P 500, we just got a 14 points to the downside. However, it was pretty wacky day. Futures market, it was pretty good, positive, getting all the way up to 59.50, and then just to hit this SMA 50, rejected, getting back to the downside all the way to the low today, pretty close to 58.50, and then getting back, bouncing back up last hour of the trading session. Right now we are at 58.72. But I would say overall, this is a corrective move after hitting this QM pattern trigger to the downside. And today price action was not bullish. So at the best case scenario, I can make it neutral case, but ultimately, I'm just looking for some kind of like a choppiness, a continuation to the downside. That would be the ideal scenario, folks, even for bulls and bears at the same time. So that would be the ideal scenario if we get all the way down to 55 to 56, let's say 56, 55 to 56.91, even below this trend line here, below this pivot, sorry, not trend line, pivot, and then getting back to the upside, because that would be the ideal scenario if we hit this trend line somewhere around 56, 55. So that would be the best case scenario, uh, because I'm kind of like giving market benefit of doubt for the bullish momentum to the upside. But bullish momentum needs to have some corrective move. And a healthy correction usually initiate another rally to the upside, especially when we are getting to the February, which is going to be a dramatic time for the market. I would say March, April could be a very dramatic time for the market. If you haven't watched my forecast, by the way, make sure watch the link up there. I'm going to just put the link forecast for 2025. There are two scenarios that I explained, and lots of educational materials covered in that video. Make sure watch that one. We are looking for low, a pretty substantial low this year, and that would be the great scenario if we see that low happens in Q1 or Q2. Um, that would be the best case scenario, because after that we can see a rally all the way up, potentially to challenge the new all-time high. And that would be the a scenario that I'm looking at, a corrective move, a significant correction for a buyable area. Then we are getting back to the upside. Moving on to Nasdaq. Nasdaq is the same. So we just got below this trend line. We are establishing kind of like um, double double bottom formation right at this pivotal point. But I would say this double bottom actually is not favorable. That would be, again, a good scenario if we see some kind of like a sharp sell-off or panic sell-off to the downside, 19,500 to 19,800. That's the area that I'm looking at for a reversal. So again, there is no guarantee if market goes down, but I would say if market goes down to this area, that would be a very favorable buying area. So potentially lots of people, investors, traders are getting back to a buy zone, to kind of like a long position, because this is hitting a very important trend line here. This trend line initiated 2023 bottom. Here's the 2023 October bottom, and then August low. And this is going to be another scenario. So this is very, very strong bull market. If we hit there, so potentially we may see another bullish momentum to new all-time high. So we will see how it goes. Moving on to Dow, which was kind of like a weaker side compared to S&P 500 and also Nasdaq. Dow is forming kind of like the H pattern to the downside, and we may see some kind of like a volatility to 41,570. So this is the area that I'm looking at. Dow obviously broken this dynamic trend line. If you want to just make it very accurate trend line, so some people are just doing like this. I like this dynamic trend line because it covers lots of pivotal point, but some people are just doing this. simply, and they're saying we are not at the trend line yet. So we may see 41,500 to 41,600. That's the buyable zone for Dow Jones. We are kind of like mimicking around that area. So we will see how it goes. But ultimately, I'm just looking for a bigger picture, which is a weekly chart. And the weekly chart, as long as it's above this 40,000, we are in a bullish momentum. If you're getting to the 40,000, stochastic getting back to the bull reversal, that would be great buying opportunity, by the way. So if we just to put this Fibonacci from this pivot to this high, it's going to end up to 50% somewhere around with this breakout zone to the upside. There are lots of good buying opportunity around here. So we will see how it goes. Moving on to gold, which had a marvelous move to the upside, and gold just forming a very nice reaction to this trend line. So if I want to just put this trend line again, so this is the trend line that we can cover. So this trend line cover lots of pivotal point here, 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 and pretty close to the August low. Sorry, not August low, November low. And then we are just forming a double touch here. If we get back to the downside, folks, that's very bearish case. And we can get all the way down to 24 to 2,500, which is going to be my favorite zone for buy. But I would say gold is forming a potentially, I'm kind of like saying that, potentially a bottom here. And we need to see the tackle above 27.15. So if it goes above 27.15 area, we are getting into new all-time high pretty soon because that momentum is going to be very strong. So that's why myself, subscribers, nibble into some metals, gold miners, and also silver as well. Just because we don't want to miss this rally. We're going to accumulate more if it goes down here because ultimately it's going to go higher. But at the same time, the pattern here seems like we are getting into the scenario for a breakout zone to the upside. Again, um, we are at no man's land. I should say we are at no man's land. Prediction is pretty hard for me, at least. I have to be transparent and confident. I'm not God. I'm not forecaster. I don't know what's going to be the future of the market. But based on the patterns, I see that the development is getting to the upside. However, we need to see again close above this 27.15 to make a very strong bullish case. Otherwise, it's going to be just a choppiness, and that would be favorable if we see 24.50 to 24 to 2,500. Moving on to silver. Silver is just forming a pretty nice double bottom here at this trend line, at this favorable zone. So silver actually is forming very better. Silver is touching my area. I know it is wide range area, 25, 98, let's say 26 to 29. So that's a $3 zone, which is going to be more than 10%. But this is my favorite area just because silver is heading up to potentially getting above this area. So another 20, 30% growth is coming with silver if we are getting to the bullish momentum. And this is a monthly buyable zone. So if we get a deeper corrective move, I would accumulate more. If we are just getting back to the rally with a small position, I keep my position for a nice gain to the upside. So silver is forming better, folks, especially today, 2.27%. And today, miners participate a lot. So we will get to that one as well. Moving on to crude. Crude just forming pretty nice bullish consolidation to the upside and triggered nicely. I would say the bullish momentum is here. So we may see some kind of like a 76.92. That's the truth of or moment of truth, actually true area or moment of truth. So 76.92. Let me just write it here, 76.92. So that's the area. If we get above this daily, ideally weekly close, that would be a breakout zone for 97, 92 to 97. We're going to see this top again. So seems like a crude is telling us we may see another geopolitical tensions are back to the world. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but crude is shifting slightly to the bull side. Still, it is pretty early stage, but as I said, $77. Look at this area. So if we get above this, that's going to be pretty substantial move to the upside. Moving on to individual names, starting with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is getting back to the upside, shifting nicely. Last 3 days actually shifting to the bull side. Still, I'm not convinced the correction is over, but I would say if Bitcoin gets above this 100 zone again, recaptured 100 zone, any pullback could be kind of like a great buying opportunity for 110. So Bitcoin can get here before a hard smash to the downside. Still looking for a very dramatic kind of like a sell-off. That's going to be along with the stock market as well. So let's see how it goes with Bitcoin. Ethereum is the same. We are in a consolidation. We are just getting back to the upside, but Ethereum needs to close above 3,700 to see the momentum. Bond yield after 2-3 days sell-off, we just got back into positive territory, shallow positive territory. TLT Treasury bond is getting back to the upside. Even after hours, it's just going higher. I would say Treasury tells us that bond yield is top. VIX, nice hit to the upside, but at 10% at the early morning. Right now we closed 3%. I would say these shadows telling me that potentially VIX is topped, at least for a short term. Dixie, huge move to the upside, 109.50 touched, and then getting back to the downside. I mean, like a seller just to control take profit. We are getting into substantial or significant top here, folks. If we get above this, that's going to be new zone. I have no idea what's going to happen. But I would say I'm in that camp that Dixie, this is kind of like a run for a significant top. And after that, we should see some kind of like a very hard sell-off for the US dollar, especially when Trump is coming. We're going to see more a weaker dollar. Moving on to Magma indicator, Doji bar slightly positive. Apple just a hard lead sold off today. I just put analysis in my Telegram group as well, channel. So if Apple gets here, that would be kind of like a buyer zone. Buyers are going to come back. If it loses this area, Apple can go all the way up down to 200 area. So we'll see Amazon, the same pattern here. It's kind of like a forming a lower low, lower high, lower low. And Amazon, if it goes to 200 to 208, that would be the area that I'm buying. Meta, just a positive territory, not a bad session compared to the other names. Microsoft, just a sliding to the downside, $2.92. And if Microsoft gets here, a potential buyable zone is coming back. I'm not sure. So let's see how market is going to behave. Google, 13 cents up today, a weaker pattern. It's not as strong at all. So Netflix, $4.59 down. Tesla, huge sell-off today, 6% down. Model Y and Model 3 delivery was below expectation, substantially below expectation. So that's why Tesla is hard sell. But 300 to 350, that's the area buyers are going to come back. Semiconductor index, this is pretty good sector, folks. Especially some big names actually did very well today. And I would say they're pretty strong. And they're just telling me that potentially rally is coming, substantial rally is coming in these names. Stocks, the same pattern here. It's just managed positive today. Taiwan Semiconductor, pretty nice bullish consolidation. This low, everything is perfect. I'm just in that camp that this one can hit me all-time high. AMD just forming a bottom, struggling with bottom, but big guys are moving well. NVIDIA, nicely bullish consolidation here. Pretty good, I would say, pattern is forming. A bigger wave with a smaller wave usually tells me that the momentum is going to shift to the upside pretty soon. So NVIDIA can go higher. Texas Instrument, 56 cents down. Lam Research still forming, struggling to form the bottom. But I would say if this one triggers to the upside, 80 to 82, that's the level. If it goes higher, 102 is coming. XLF financials, mixed session for them. Still looking for this area for a buyable zone. KBE, we are at the trend line, so we may see a breakdown to the downside. KRE, the same pattern here. It's kind of like a week. We may see another decline to the downside. JP Morgan, this one forming small bullish consolidation, but if it rolls over to the downside, it can hit this area. Goldman Sachs, $2.35 up. Still, we need to see a breakout nicely. Otherwise, if it tests this trend line, it means that the weaker side is coming 540 and then getting down. So we'll see. We are at no man's land for lots of them. Bank of America, I like the pattern, folks. This is a nice bottoming tail, bullish consolidation. We need to see a strong momentum to the upside. Full disclosure, I don't have bank. I don't have bank stocks right now just because the trend or kind of like the pattern is not my favorable. Wells Fargo, 5 cents down. Moving on to the GDX. This is the sector that I believe everyone needs to keep an eye on this just because they had a hard time, especially last 2 months. We're getting to a substantial low here. I don't know if low is there or we are pretty close, but these two demand area are very, very strong for me. And we just got pretty close to this demand area. And today we just see nice shoot to the sky. So if it gets above this 39 engulfed to the upside, a pullback would be great opportunity for those ones who just missed this rally. I would say I would rather to get into these names, especially after this area if it goes down. I have a small position, myself has a small position, but we are just waiting for more corrective move to the downside for accumulation. GDXJ, the same pattern, 4.87% to the upside. AEM, Agnico Eagle, pretty good sharp move to the upside. Newmont, we have this nice pop to the upside, 3%. Franco-Nevada 3.3, again, another 3% to the upside. Gold Barrick nicely. So they're all moving kind of like ascending double bottom formation. This is bullish, especially when we are getting to nice demand area for those names. XLE, energy names, I think we got the bottom here. And with crude, crude is forming a bottom, getting back to the upside. Energy names are following. XLE going up, XOP nice shoot to the upside. So we just get a recapture this trend line. This is bullish. And we need to get above this to continue to the upside. OH, oil and gas exploration, oil and gas services, ETF. Doji bar, 276. But we need to get above this this area, 292. This is a strong resistance here, 292, 293. Exxon, still laggard, getting to this demand area, but managed negative today, not positive. And Chevron just going higher. We got into this short-term resistance gap down. You see, this is the gap down. This is the consolidation. We break through to the downside. Lots of energy for sellers here. We need to consolidate before breaking through to the upside. So we will see how it goes. All right, folks, I believe I covered everything. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and have a good one. See you on the chart. Bye-bye.